Did not participate today was Breland hamstring, Lichtensteiger neck, Hatcher rest day, knee. McCoy was personal, and limited participation was Deshaun Kerrigan with his hand. He will see the doctor probably tomorrow. D. Hall toe, and Culliver knee. Anthony McCoy, yes.
Of the players who were limited, it seemed like Culliver was able to do quite a bit. Are you hopeful that he's going to be out there on Sunday?
I'm hopeful. You know, I'm always hopeful. So, so we'll see. You know, he looked good out there, man. He wore his cool outfit. Had a good day of practice for when he did practice, and we'll just have to see how he feels tomorrow when he practices a full day on it. And you know, he'll do more tomorrow, I hope, and we'll go from there.
Jay, with Culliver, I guess looking back, was maybe playing him in that Eagle game a little bit of a mistake, and did that set him back a couple of weeks, or is it just about now, hey, we saw him out there, and now we really have to make sure he gets back to 100%?
I think playing in an Eagle game, I don't think it made it worse. I just think he realized that it wasn't 100% when he had to turn and run on it a couple times, and he felt it. He didn't feel like himself, so I think he just wanted to get back to 100%. He felt like he, you know, didn't play his best game, didn't feel right. So we're trying to get him back to 100% where he has the pain not there anymore. So I think he's getting better. He's done everything he can to get better. You know, he's done everything with the trainers, treatment, been on time, done everything right. He's got a positive mindset. It's just a matter of going out here and practicing, and then seeing how it feels after practice and the next day and the next day. So we're confident about it, but we'll have to wait and see.
You saw the competitive nature of Chris a little bit with, you know, Corey Washington and a couple comments for Andre Roberts. Do you think that maybe just the setting of knowing who they're playing coming up on Sundays, you kind of have the competitive juices going?
Not just Chris. You know, we missed him out there. You know, that's the way he is. He brings a competitive fire to practice, and it rubs off on everybody. And you need that at practice, you know, especially against a team we're getting ready to play. He's got a great competitive spirit about him, and when he's out there, he plays hard. And it's good to have him back out there as a welcome addition at practice for the limited time he was out there.
And then follow up with D'Angelo, where you think he's at. He said the other day, at corner especially, given how you have to plant, how quickly you have to play, if he's not 100%, it's just tough for guys like that to you know, go half speed. Where is he at? Where do you see him?
Yeah, that's the whole thing about it is what they have to do as far as backpedaling and planting and driving. It's probably the worst position to have that type of injury. So that's going to be totally his call, how he feels, how much he feels like he's in pain, and how much he can play with it. That's going to be up to him ultimately. So we'll just have to wait and see. But he did some things out there today a little bit that gave us reason for hope, but I think he's still playing a little bit of pain.
I think looks like Lichtensteiger's getting a little bit more active. I think before the bye, I think last real update you gave on him was he was at like 60% strength. Is he building that back up?
He's a 61 right now.
61.5, I heard, but
I was told I came up with that number. I don't know. Nobody knows where I came up with that number. Somebody gave me that number, but you know, I don't know where he's at exactly. He's you know, he's working really hard. You know, this is a sensitive issue that he has right now, and it's something that you know, he's doing everything he can to get his strength back, but it's just not quite there yet. And it's just a matter of determining how much can he play with lack of it. You know what I mean? And that's something we'll have to decide later on. I don't know if he'll be full strength or not. We'll have to wait and see. I think there's a chance he can get there, but this thing takes some time. We just don't know how long because it's new to a lot of people.
Jay, teams have done a lot of different things against trying to defend Rob Gronkowski, and Tom Brady had an interesting comment the other day saying that their team has so many weapons that you almost hope that one-on-one is the best matchup in trying to defend them, because if you try doubling someone else will be open. What are the challenges there in trying to at least slow him down and keep an eye on everyone else at the same time?
That is a great challenge. You know, you take away Gronkowski, great, then who's on Edelman? He'll be one-on-one. And Deion Lewis has proven to be a force out of the backfield. And obviously Amendola is a heck of a player. And you know, they got positive matchups all across the board. And Tom does an excellent job of finding the singles, and he feels confident that those who are single will win, and they have been winning for him. So it's a great challenge. Yeah, I think you just have to try to mix up the looks. You know, whether you play man-to-man, you double somebody, you have to change up your intent have good disguises, but ultimately it comes down to pass rush. You have to get after them, whether it's a 4-man rush, 3-man rush, 5-man rush, whatever it is. But if you're vanilla against him, he will make it a long afternoon.
Chris Baker was always one of those guys who flashed in the past, but you were looking for a little more consistency this year. Seems like every game he's making a play either against the run or against the pass. What have you seen from him growth-wise just as a player from last year to this year?
Yeah, I think he's been our most disruptive lineman, which is good. He's been good in the pass rush, and obviously in the run game he gets great penetration. The great challenge for him is he can do it on a consistent basis. And I tell all our guys, you take one play off against these guys, man, and be trying to get ready to block the extra point. So it's going to be a matter of getting these guys consistently coming out of their stances with great pad level, getting after the quarterback, getting off blocks. But Chris has done an outstanding job of that so far. We need it more consistent to move forward.
Jay, you put an emphasis on this week in practice. How'd you feel your team responded today?
They had a good day today. It was great weather out there, number one. I think guys came in and paid attention to meetings, listened to the things that we're doing, our game plan. We'll add more to it tomorrow, obviously, and I think they're focused and ready to go.
Jay, on Kerrigan possibly playing with that broken hand, what is the line between him wanting to play and being willing to tolerate whatever pain there is, and then maybe his just not being effective? How do you as a coach or he work out, is it really going to help the team or not?
Yeah, that's what we'll have to figure out. We'll see the doctor today. We'll cast it up, whatever he's going to do for game day tomorrow, see how he can practice and see how he feels, with the pain, and then if he's effective using that hand. But I think him at 90% is probably pretty good. So we'll hope that he can figure out a way to get it played. But if not, Preston, obviously Trent, Jeff Coate will have to step up.
Jay, you talked during the bye week about evaluating the coaching staff in different areas. How has game management for you guys been better compared to last year? We've noticed on those late drives, you always seem to have 3 timeouts, right, which has helped Kirk. Your penalties are middle of the pack in terms of flags per play, all that kind of different stuff, the replay reviews, all the little things that go into managing a game. How have you guys evaluated that compared to what you did last year?
Well, that would be me evaluating myself, so I feel pretty good about that evaluation. But you're right, I am always aware of that game situations. Those are very important. Delay games, how many penalties your team has, how you're using your timeouts. Obviously, clock management at the end of games are very important. Luckily for us, we haven't run into things where I felt like I've cost the team a game. That's what you're always trying to give your team a chance to win a football game late. We've had that opportunity. So far, so good. That's a great challenge every week, though. Clock management, managing timeouts, replays. 1 for 1 this year, which is pretty impressive. But, we're always looking for improvement, no matter where we are.
Coach, I know you talk about each week going into the game, you want to run the football. This week, how much more important of it is it to get these guys going, sustain drives, convert third downs, to keep that offense off the field?
Yeah, it's important every week, really. We've had the issues in the secondary with the injuries and all that stuff, but you always want to try to run the ball. We just haven't had success the last 3 weeks, but it isn't a goal for us, and it's a major emphasis for us going into each game plan. Like I said, the Jets did an outstanding job of taking away the run with their fronts and their big guys up front. And last week we just couldn't get much going, and we had to come from behind, so we didn't get the running game going. So, I think this year the intent going into every game plan is to have a good, solid run game package, something we can rely on and use late in the game to wear down opponents and keep our defense fresh.
Jay, when you talk about the defense struggling, you've pointed to some of the tackling as an area where you guys need to clean up. Kind of a 2-part question here. One, how difficult is it to practice that because of the restrictions that are in place? And 2, is it frustrating sometimes as a coach trying to fix such a fundamental issue that you hope at this level that's something that is pretty well put together?
Yeah, it's hard. It's easier. Fundamentals are great, man, but there are some great running backs and wide receivers that are making you miss sometimes in a hole. I mean, Doug Martin is a heck of a running back. Chris Ivory has obviously proven that he's one of the top running backs in the league. And each week, Freeman's obviously an up-and-coming running back who does a lot of good things in the hole. And this week's no different. They have obviously Blunt, who's a big, massive man, and Deion Lewis, who's a very good, elusive back. But getting in position, breaking down, and making fundamental tackles are important, or at least giving your other guys time to come to the party. So it's not so much about the one guy missing the tackle, it's maybe the pursuit angles aren't as good by the other guy. So there's a lot of things we can clean up that we work on. But for the most part, I like our effort, our pursuit, all that stuff. But there are things that every coach in the league will think they can clean up defensively as far as tackling and fundamentals, and we always work on it.
Jay, getting pressure on Brady sounds like a good idea in theory. Unfortunately, he gets rid of the ball faster than anyone in the NFL. So how do you manage as your game plan not sending too many guys, knowing that he's just going to get rid of the ball and you might not be getting home basically ever, versus not being too vanilla like you said, and knowing that the best way is to get home. The best way to stop him is to get home.
Yeah, that's why he's the best, is because he has a clock in his head. He knows when you're bringing too many, he gets rid of it quick. And if you're only bringing 3, he'll wait for his guys to get open and uncover. He does a great job of pocket awareness, knowing where his guys are, knowing how much time he exactly has in the pocket, and he gets rid of the ball. And it's a great challenge. I think the big thing is when he does get rid of the ball, we have to be sound tacklers, and we have to figure out a way to force some turnovers. He's not going to throw it to us, I wouldn't think. I think it's going to be important for us to get our hands on some balls somehow. And when he does throw it and they catch it, we got to make sure we rally, make some hard tackles, and try to get the ball out.
Jay, as an offensive-minded guy, how much has Gronkowski changed that position and just the way that teams use tight ends these days in the NFL?
Well, he has. You can see the difference with us with Jordan Reed, just how more effective our offense is when he's in the game because of the matchup problems and the ability to run the ball with a big guy like that. Certain guys have tight ends that are great athletic guys who can catch, but they aren't as good in the core. Gronk is the best because he's excellent, obviously, on the pass routes, big, strong guy after the catch, but he's also good blocking. And that combination of being a good blocker and a great pass receiver and to split outside and win one-on-one matchups is a special quality to have as a tight end. That's why he's the best. So it's a nightmare for a defense to have to deal with, but we're going to deal with it. We're going to have somebody out there on him. We're going to cover him, and he's going to have to make a great catch. If he does, he does, but we're going to compete against him, go for the ball, and play.
Coach Kirk was great in the comeback a couple weeks ago. How do you keep him focused on that next step now on the road against the defending champs? What do you expect out of him this week?
Progress, preparation, that's all we can do, man, is control what we control. He can control his progress, how he prepares for this game, and his preparation. And he's had a good day so far. He'll have a good day tomorrow. He'll get ready, get himself ready to go, and then we'll call a game and go and see what happens. But I expect him to be poised, just a little bit more poised every week, get a little bit better every week with his decision-making, and play.
Jay, I know it was last year, but is there any part of spending that 3 or 4 days during training camp with the Patriots that you feel a little more prepared, or you feel like you kind of know what they have going into this week?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're a little bit. They're very similar in how they play defense. They're attacking style of defense, and of course, watching Tom Brady operate firsthand in the team periods and 2-minute and all that stuff was entertaining to say the least. So we did learn a lot. And for the guys that were here, a lot of guys weren't here though. So but we did learn a lot with the tempo, the aggressive style that they play with on defense, and how well coached they are. Thanks, Coach. All right.